One of the hot topics on everyone's mind right now is AI. And I know you've been asked about AI a bit before because I have been stalking you on social media. How do you see AI shaping the future of the copy industry?
I am so bored of all this AI chat. Before I rant about it, I should just say I'm a massive technophobe and am absolutely no authority on the subject. But I did do a load of research on AI versus copywriters a couple of years ago. And although things have obviously evolved quite quickly since then, my views so far are still the same. And that is AI is obviously great for some things, but it's not great for everything. And the difference between AI generated copy and truly creative human copy is still pretty clear as far as I can see. We just need people paying for copy to value it enough to choose human copywriters over AI ones. And AI will take some of our jobs, unfortunately, but it won't take all of our jobs. But on that, the amount of raving about stuff like that really annoys me. Like, why are we getting excited about people losing their jobs? It's actually really insensitive. I've had more copywriters contact me in the last month asking for advice about how they should prepare for the future than I ever have before. Like, people are genuinely scared about what AI means for them. And yes, it's a great motivator to keep learning and improving, but it's also just irresponsible to make people feel like this when, as a world, not just an industry, there's already a lot of uncertainty and insecurity. And we're making people fear for their careers and therefore their lives, all for the sake of banging on about a shiny new toy. And like, maybe I'll eat my words, maybe to some listening, I'm being really ignorant and stupid and I'll get swallowed up. But for now, like I said before, I like to be optimistic.
Yeah, I think you're adding a really interesting perspective to the discussion, though. So when I was still at uni, even before, one of the key things that we all had to think about and that we were all encouraged to think about when choosing our careers was what will be the last to go when AI comes into play. So we got asked to think about that very young, because even then there was this fear of people losing their jobs to AI. So we were like, okay, anything that can't be automated, like had to sit as like 15-year-olds thinking about these things.
Well, so I suppose they were asking you that to get you to think about a job that there'd be more longevity in for you to pursue rather than going for something that might be obliterated in a year, I guess.
Yeah.
And so what was the general consensus?
I think people were like, oh, don't go for accountancy because that's numbers and can be done really quickly. But the consensus was creativity is the last thing that can be automated in any way and can be produced by AI, because creativity doesn't come from a preset database, and it's something that comes from humans.
Yeah, completely agree. We just need the people, like I said, that are paying for creativity, so clients and marketing and account people, to value it enough to keep wanting to hire real people, not robot people.
Yeah.
Robot people, that's not a thing, is it?
Not now, at least.
Yeah, true.
Knock on wood. But are you struggling, or do you know that people are struggling to convince clients of the value in that human creativity?
No, I haven't. Fortunately, I haven't been in a situation where that's come up with anybody that I need to worry about. It is just, I'm just going on what people are emailing me or messaging me at the moment when they're asking for help, and it's quite worrying that people are getting into such a state about it, and it's all it's fear mongering, and yeah, I think everyone just needs to chill out a bit.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. Do you think there is a space for AI to help copywriters just optimize the work better, or any way that the two can merge and benefit from each other?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I just want to say no and shut down the conversation, but I suppose so. I mean, people with far more experience in testing AI will know far more than I do. Like, people like Rob Schwartz, the CEO at TBWA, and my brother, Adam Ross, who is Creative Strategy Director at Coca-Cola, they're pretty optimistic about it. They reckon it's good for Route 1 ideas, like ideas to bounce off and push, or to show us what not to do, which I get, but I also don't get because for me, well, not just for me, I'm not like, the authority on this at all, but for many, part of the whole creative process is messing around and finding your way, because you never know what you might come up with during that process. And I just think if we remove that part, perhaps we'll get to something more quickly, but we risk losing the magic that often inexplicably appears and becomes the thing that we need to work with. And I don't know, I'm old fashioned, but I just can't get on board with all of this yet. I can only just about work a Word document. I'm not going to be a fan for a very long time. But also, as a brand and tone of voice consultant, I can't see how AI can create a compelling brand personality and tone of voice. But if it could it also write tone of voice guidelines that actually guide copywriters on how to write to that tone of voice? Like I mentioned before, it's pretty easy to describe what a tone of voice should sound like, but what's it called? Can AI expand on that to give guidance on the how? I mean, probably, I'm sure there'll be people listening that will be thinking that it absolutely can, but I'm just not convinced yet.